What up, Gotham Guardians and Arkham adversaries? It's your boy Train as Wonder Wife Sara. We coming in hot just after binging the new animated series of Batman Caped Crusader on Amazon Prime. They dropped all 10 episodes on August 1st. So Sara and I, we went through it all today, and I gotta be honest, it was just meh.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. I mean, I was so excited to binge all of these episodes, and it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, it like failed to capture the magic. I think with having people like Bruce Timm, who's obviously involved in the animated Batman series with Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, and just how successful that show and the whole Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, you know, having him come back, already you caught my attention because I'm like, okay, like let's see what he does this next go around. And you have Matt Reeves getting involved as an executive producer, and even J.J. Abrams. And so those are big names. And when I saw it, I was kind of like, it's just okay. Like there's
right,
nothing.
Those big names had me having such big expectations, and it was really didn't live up to those.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, not even so much. I knew going into it not to expect Batman the Animated Series because I was kind of hoping they wouldn't really try to do that.
Right.
But it felt like the chances they took with Batman as a character and, you know, obviously trying to capture some of that of what made Batman so successful as an animated series before with doing those dark deco art styles with Gotham City especially. Like, yeah, it kind of takes you back a bit, but the story overall, there was just nothing memorable. There was even times where I was kind of like, where's Batman? He kind of just shows up to like save the day real quick, and then that's really, he just shows up, and then
right, like it's at times that they forgot that it was a Batman show.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't often the focus. Like they focused on some of the characters that they did change and repurpose for this particular show, and whether you liked how they repurposed them or not, I just kind of felt they had an opportunity. Like, we're DC fans, we know there's a multiverse, we know there's going to take creative liberties with certain characters, whether it's gender swapping, race swapping, or origin changing, however they're going to do it. And I just felt like, okay, like go into it then, like flesh it out, like have fun, like go crazy with it, because I'm used to that.
Right.
And often the choices they made, I kind of just like, you didn't really do anything with it, so it was kind of just left with, well, I didn't care for it then. Like it was just nothing. You kind of just said, this is what makes it different simply because, and not like actually did something with it. So it was, yeah, it just wasn't my cup of tea.
Right.
I guess. So it was kind of sad for season one. I even found kind of the finale a little bit disappointing and lackluster as well, to where, I mean, I'll probably, because obviously being a Batman fan, I'll check out season 2 when it happens. I don't think I'm going to be rushing to see it, you know, or have any high expectations for it. To me, it's just a Batman show that I'll forget eventually and go back to watching Batman the Animated Series, the Batman show, you know. I think there's better animated Batman shows than this one, easily. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah. Would you recommend watching it?
You know, honestly, I wouldn't waste your time.
You wouldn't? Oh, you're just like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted something different that's Batman, sure, go ahead, more power to you. But if you're a true Batman fan, I wouldn't waste your time.
Yeah. I kind of feel the same. Like, to me, it's like cool, more Batman content, but at the same time, I was like, it just didn't really do anything for me. I was kind of bored throughout it,
right?
To be honest. But now, this is your spoiler warning for us going into some specific details about why it didn't work for us. So here we go.
It's not just a signal, it's a warning.
I always like to end on a bit of a high note. So
we'll talk about the cons.
Let's talk about cons. I kind of found Batman to be lackluster. Like, Hamish, Linklater, actor who voiced Batman, he's a good actor, and I just found his performance as Batman like he was trying too hard. You know, it just didn't capture me the same way other people have when they've done the voice for Batman, from Kevin Conroy, obviously, Bruce Greenwood, Jensen Ackles even. To me, it was just nothing special, nothing that I will remember and say, that dude did a great job as Batman. You know, I think there's a million other people who did better as Batman.
Right, and not even then, like, not just the voice acting, but the action scenes with Batman in them. I even told you in one of the episodes that I'm like, I need more grit from Batman. Like, there's not enough beating the crap out of people, breaking bones.
And not until the final, like, scene, really, of the show, where I was like, ooh, we're like kind of playing with something now.
Right.
That I was kind of like, all right, you got my attention. But for the rest of it, I was kind of like, yeah, the fight sequences, he wasn't really a terror of the night. Honestly, I kind of had some of the same issues that I had with the Batman, where it's just like, he's not really scary. He's not, you know...
Right, he doesn't put the fear of Gotham into anyone.
Yeah, the criminals, they say they fear him, or they think he's a myth, but like you see him walking around everywhere, or like going up the stairs. There's nothing like him appearing in the room and like, I'm here. I mean, they do play with that sometimes, but it's used over and over again in a way that you're kind of like, you know, that's kind of lost. Like, do something different, like really showcase who the Batman is.
Right.
They kind of went more of the detective noir style, which I like that. But the rest of it, they kind of dropped the ball on.
Right, even the Bruce Wayne character bits. I mean, it was really 60-40. There was more Batman than Bruce Wayne, but even the Bruce Wayne storytelling wasn't up to par.
Totally. There's one particular scene, well, other than the relationship with Alfred, or I guess Pennyworth, as Bruce calls him throughout the entire show, which really like kind of pissed me off. I get at the end, you kind of realize they used it as a storytelling thing, but it wasn't really earned. There wasn't like a moment where like, okay, they've come to this moment with each other where, okay, Bruce can stop being a dick and like appreciate the man that's been taking care of him all this time. It was a different thing that they tried with Bruce and Alfred's relationship, and I don't think they executed it very well.
No,
There wasn't,
not at all.
They didn't have a headbutt moment where it's just like, get your shit together, Bruce. Like, treat this man better. It was just kind of like, we've been through a lot this season. I guess I like you now, so I'm gonna call you Alfred. You've been treating him like a slave for the last 20 years, apparently, in this show.
Ooh, well, I do everything. I go where he tells me to go, and I do what he tells me to do.
Oh, well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
Fantastic.
That's not the thing.
Yeah.
It's not Bruce and Alfred.
No, and one particular thing that really bugged me about this show was there's a scene in one, I think episode 3 or 4, where Bruce displays his, you know, mother's pearls at a Wayne collection jewelry show, and I was like, Bruce would have never publicly displayed something so important to him that literally is displaying his pain. So when he punches that dude, fully expected that, but like Bruce would have never done that in the first place. That would have got him court order. It just felt like they needed a reason for Bruce to go to therapy, to see Dr. Quinzel, and I was like, that was just a weird
Yeah, it's a weird
bit too.
introduction of her character.
Yeah,
And then her character's whole plot line just totally went astray, and it's not... I didn't enjoy that at all.
It was a different take, because I usually prefer like Joker being involved in her origin story, and it wasn't this round. They kind of just went, she's psychotic on her own. And I just didn't like where like she ends up. No one tells, like Montoya doesn't say like she's the one who's been capturing and hurting all these people. Like it was a weird bit that clearly they're going to use again in season 2, and I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't care for it. And then Harvey Dent, as you know, even Two-Face, like him and Bruce's relationship, they kind of give you the idea that they have a friendship and Bruce is really in support of him, but Harvey Dent is kind of a dick throughout and corrupt throughout. So you're kind of like, why is Bruce in so much support of him? Like, even the scene where Dr. Tompkins comes up to Harvey Dent, she's like, please help me. I'm missing some of my kids. Where, like, can you help me? And he's just like, forget about it. I'm not dealing with this. And Bruce like immediately shows up, like, couldn't help but over here. Like, you don't think Bruce would have been like, dude, like, what the hell? I'm supporting you. This is not what we do. And it's never really brought up. They don't really ever come to odds with each other about what they're doing. It just seems like Bruce is aloof and just unaware of what's going around him in his inner circle. And I don't believe that's...
I almost feel like this was a half Batman show, half Two-Face origin story.
Yeah, and they did this copycat woman thing, you know, with the Catmobile. It was just kind of, I don't know. I mean, Firebug. Sorry, I apologize. Firebug. Like, what a weird, like, to me, that was like so unnecessary. Like, why are we just doing that to say we're different, than anything that's come before? But it's like, why?
Right. I feel like they tried too hard to get you to want to watch the show. I mean, they went through so many Batman villains.
Yeah.
That at this point it's like, well, there's only the big names left, but do I really want them to show them? Because they didn't really do a great job this season.
It's a show that struggles to find its identity because they're trying to change things up and kind of be like, hey, we're different. But like I said earlier, they don't really utilize it to have it a part of the story. It's just like, hey, it's different because of this base thing, and we're not going to hash that out. So those are some of the major cons I would say about the show. Now, some of the pros, because there are a couple of pros in it. And like I said, some of that comes from the dark deco art style that you come to love from the Batman the Animated Series. The classic 1939 Batman and Catwoman look. Like, that was cool seeing.
That was.
I really enjoyed seeing Bill Finger's designs up on, animated action. There's some cool Easter eggs, like some Robins, lots of Robins.
All the Robins, except for Tim. Tim gets no love in this. But you even get like some Batman Year One Easter eggs with the police decoy stings that they do to capture Batman, which I thought was cool. Even King Tut from the Adam West series. So I mean, there is things that are cool. The final scene with the lightning hitting behind, obviously, to where they are definitely paying homage to the original animated Batman.
Yeah, with Kevin Conroy, the iconic scene that everyone thinks of with Batman.
Right.
So I mean, there are things that clearly Bruce Timm kind of tip of the hat. There you go. But I just felt like even for those few pros that we just listed off, still like. I don't think this is a show I'm going to return back like I have for Batman Beyond, Batman the Animated Series, The Batman,
right?
Justice League Unlimited. It's not going to be a show I return to because it just didn't do anything for me. Right. So if you had to score it, what would you score it?
Ooh, I'm going to be brutal.
Oh.
It's probably going to be close to maybe 3.8.
Out of 10?
Out of 10. I did not like it at all.
What did you say?
Wow. I don't know. It's tough for me because Batman's so close to my heart that it's like,
I know.
I don't think I can give it ever below a 5. I think I'm just going to give it, like, to me, it was like the number I was originally thinking of before hearing you say that, because now I'm thinking I'm like overscoring it. It's like a 5.8, 5.9, maybe. It's just not that good. I think interesting things that maybe season 2 they can build off of and it will be super exciting, but season 1 let down, disappointment all around.
I mean, where they're going with season 2, it might change my score, because the villain that they kind of left you with the cliffhanger on for the end of season 1, it's one of the more iconic Batman villains that I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, the Joker.
Right.
It's
which kind of like totally mutes Harley's story.
It does.
When Joker comes in at the end, you do get that they did do his, like, he's scary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
he's
you can
gonna
definitely
be a terrifying
tell
villain.
it's gonna be a good villain for season 2. But I hope they don't, like, climax of season 1 was Two-Face dies.
Yeah.
And then now they're going to bring in Joker, and I really don't want it to be like a one season thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that will be kind of the interesting. I mean, it's tough to do because it's so, with the Joker, we've seen it time and time again. It's hard to recapture the magic between Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, and even Christian Bale and Heath Ledger and Jared Leto and Ben Affleck. It's tough to achieve anything that's gonna keep the audience engaged, but it's just kind of yin and yang. At some point their stories, their destinies are entwined to be a part of each other. But it also felt like now that we have Joker in this, what was the point of having Harley have her origin story sooner, other than to say it was different and she's psychotic, from the get-go. And we'll have to see what they do with it in season 2, but I don't think I'm rushing to my seat then when they announce whenever season 2 is going to be released. I'll probably take my time watching it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'm really curious to hear if you guys did enjoy it. Awesome. I'm happy to hear it. I would love to hear why you liked it so much, if so, because maybe it'll change my thoughts. Maybe I'll go back and rewatch after reading some of your guys' comments and be like, oh yeah, I did kind of miss that. But curious to hear from you guys. As always, it helps us out so much when you smash that like, you share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. I am your host Trey with his Wonder Wife Sara, and don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same bad time,
Same bad channel. See you later, guys.